Hi, my name is Billy Flowers and welcome to my channel where I talk about velocity banking and how we can use this strategy to massively pay off debt. So in today's video, we're going to be going over part 2 of the scenario that we started the other day where we had $40,000 in debt across 3 different credit cards. So let's not waste any time. Let's get going. So I'm going to do a recap of our 4 key numbers. We had our income at $7,000. Our expenses are at $6,500. Our debt is at $40K. And our cash flow when we originally started was at $500. Now remember, the last video, we took care of credit card number 1, which was for $10K, which had a $400 monthly payment. And what did that do? Come over here. We started with $500 and we gained that $400 monthly payment. So now we're sitting at $900 in cash flow. Number 2, credit card number 2, which we're going to tackle first, is for $15,000. And that monthly payment is $600. And then the third credit card is also at $15K at $600 a month. And all these cards have a 25% interest rate. Now you also remember our expenses. We have rent or our mortgage at $1,700. We have our car payment at $500 a month, car insurance at $150, and the rest of the bills that we can pay with our credit card is $2,550. And remember, since we already paid our $10K credit card, we don't have to worry about the interest breakdown on that card. For the $15,000 cards, you're going to get charged $3,750 per year for the first year if you only paid the minimum monthly payment. And it's going to be around $312 a month if you just paid the minimum monthly payment. So let's get started and see how we're going to do this. So we have our $15,000 credit card, and we're going to be putting $4,050 of income into this card. Now, last video, as you look over here, we were putting $3,050 onto the card, onto that $10,000 card. Now, what's going to happen? If we're dumping all of this money into this card, we're just going to rinse and repeat. What happens to that monthly payment? Now, credit card number 2 monthly payment is about to change, right? So we're going to get rid of this monthly payment. And what is that going to do? Our cash flow is currently at $900. Let me go over here. So now what's going to happen? We're going to get that cash flow, right? So we're going to get another $600. So that's going to put us at a $1,500 cash flow now, right? And we're going to be working on this debt right now. Then our expenses are also went down, right? It went down $400 just from the first card. Now another $600 from the second card. Now our expenses are even lower. Let me get back over here. So now that we're putting $4,050 into the card, right? We also have to keep less money in cash. $600 left in cash. These cash bills over here that we have to keep in the bank account. Now, since this credit card number 2 is no longer a bill, right? Now we only have to keep $2,950 in the bank every month to pay the rest of these bills, to pay the rent, the car payments, the car insurance, and this last credit card number 3. And yeah, we only have to keep $2,950. All the rest of our income is going on this card. So in month 1, when we put that $4,050 of income into the card, it's going to lower the balance down to $10,950. And then our expenses are going to come out of $2,550. raising the balance back up to $13,500. And then, of course, we're going to get charged interest. Remember, same steps all the time until we do our flip. We got our income, expenses, interest. Income goes in, expenses come out, interest gets charged. Income goes in, expenses come out, interest gets charged. Income goes in, expenses come out, interest charge of $312.50, raising a balance up to $13,812.50. Remember, this interest that I charge right here is off of the full 15,000. I didn't take it off of any other numbers throughout the month. I took it off the full beginning balance of the month. I'm going to do that every single month. The beginning balance, that's what I'm going to take the interest off of. This so we can, life happens. So we can have some room or any kind of mistakes. So in month 2, we're going to repeat the same process. Income in, expenses out. Now, $287.76 is getting charged in interest. $12,600.26 is the balance at the end of month 2. Month 3, we have our income going in, our expenses coming out. Oops, I put this plus sign here. Can't be doing that. This is minus. Man, we gotta make sure this is right. Let this marketer be right. Yeah, that's a minus. Then we have our interest getting charged here, $262.51. The balance is going to be $11,362.77 at the end of month 3. Month 4, repeat. Income in, expenses out, raising a balance up to $9,862.77. $236.72 is the interest. Balance is going to be $10,099.49 at the end of month 4. Month 5, income in, expenses out. $210.41 is the interest. $8,809.90 is the balance at the end of month 5. Month 6, repeat. Income in, expenses out. We have our interest now. It's under $100 or under $200. $183.54. Remember, that's off this high beginning balance at the start of month 6. Raising a balance up to $7,493.44 at the end of month 6. Month 7, we have our income going in, our expenses coming out. $156.11 is the interest. $6,149.55 is the balance at the end of month 7. Month 8, we have our income going in of $4,050, raising a balance up to $2,099.55. Our expenses are coming out of $2,550, balance $4,649.55. Now the interest, $128.12. Balance $4,777.67 at the end of month 8. Month 9, income in, expenses out. See that right there? Now we're under $100 of interest getting charged. $99.54. $3,377.21 is the balance at the end of month 9. Now right here, since our balance is lower than the amount that we've been putting in, you know what time it is. It's flip time. We about to flip the numbers. So I'm on the board. I'm going to have the expenses come out first and the income going second, just so you can see the numbers a little easier. So we're doing less math, and you're going to see when the line actually gets paid down to 0, but you're going to still pay your bills exactly the same. I'm just doing it on the board for visual purposes. So we're going to have our expenses come out first of the $2,550, raising the balance up to $5,927.21. Now our income is going in of $4,050. Now lowering the balance all the way down to $1,877.21. $70.36 is the interest, raising the balance back up to $1,947.57 at the end of month 10. Let me put that here. Somebody might say something. I don't want nobody saying nothing. Let me fix that there. So month 10. All right. Month 11, we got our expenses coming out first, our income going in. Now, look at that balance. Whew. $447.57. Interest now, $40.57. Nowadays, that's taking two people out to a fast food restaurant. You paying $40. Crazy. Raising the balance up to $488.14 at the end of month 11. Month 12, we got our expenses coming out first, right? $2,550. It's going to raise the balance up to $3,038.14. Now, if you've been following the steps, you already know how much we've been putting in this whole time, right? Yeah, $4,050. So what are we going to do? We're going to put this exact amount in, zero this line out, and we're done in another year, 12 months, paying off $15,000. Remember, the first scenario when we paid down $10,000, it took us 13 months when we started out with $500 of cash flow, and then it got raised to $900, but you got to factor in the interest. Now we're paying off $15,000 in 12 months. That's how it works. See how the extra cash flow is working in our favor? Mm-hmm. So now, since we're done with this card, what we going to do now? We're going to move on to credit card number 3, the last one. And what that's going to do, rinse and repeat. What we going to get from credit card number 3? What is this monthly payments going to come? What's going to happen? We're going to get that cash flow, right? So now we're going to add 600 to the 1,500. Wow. Well, what is that gonna equal? We talking about over 2,000, right? Ooh. Once you get over 2,000, that's a good number right there. I tell you. So now, what we have to keep in cash now, minus $600, is gonna be $2,350. And now what we're gonna put on the card is going to go up another $600. So now we're going to be putting $4,650 on the card. Oh, and since we wiped out this second credit card of $15K, right? So now we're down to the last $15K. So let's get started on this one. And mind you, I'm just doing this off of the beginning balance because remember, the first 13 months, we were also making these monthly payments. Remember, the expenses, this expense number, we're still making our monthly payments on these cards. We're still paying our expenses. Just because we're chunking or we're putting all our income into these cards doesn't mean that we're stopping paying the monthly payment on these cards. No. We're still paying these monthly payments. That's part of the expenses. This, what we have to keep in cash is going down because this number is changing in the cash flow, but we're still paying the monthly payment on whatever card that we're not using at the time. Remember that. The expenses are still getting paid even when we're doing this. So most likely after 13 months, well, after 13 months for the first one and then another 12 months, so we're talking about 2 years of payments, you know that these balances are going to be way lower than what I'm displaying on the board. I'm just showing you the highest balance and how long it's going to take for you to pay off each card once we capture that cash flow, right? But we know this 15K right here on the second card, this we're paying $600 for 13 months before we started this card, and then we're paying $600 for 2 years and 1 month on this card. So this balance is going to be lower than that. So like I said, I always like for y'all to beat these numbers on the board, and you're definitely going to beat these. Um, factoring in that, factoring in I'm calculating the higher interest, and I'm not even factoring in the credit card rewards on any of these numbers as well. So let's get started on this last card. Let's get this one out the way. We're gonna have our month one. We're gonna have our 4650 of income going into the card now, right? Raising the or lowering the balance down to $10,350. Our expenses, same expenses coming out, $2,550 is coming out, raising the balance up to $12,900. Interest, remember, it's off of the 15K, but we know it's going to be lower than that, and even then, it's going to be higher because I like taking the interest off the high balance. Raising the balance up to $13,212.50 at the end of month one. Month two, repeat the same process. Our expenses, our income is going in, our expenses are coming out. $11,112.50 is the balance. $275.26 is the interest, raising the balance up to $11,387.76 at the end of month two. Month three, repeat. Income in, expenses out. $237.25 is the interest. $9,525.01 is the balance at the end of month three. Month four, income in, expenses out. $198.44 in interest, under $200 already. $7,623.45 is the balance at the end of month four. Month five, income in, expenses out. $158.82 is the interest. 5682.27 is the balance at the end of month five. Month six, we have our income going in, lowering the balance down to $1,032.27. And then we have our expenses coming out, raising it back up to $3,582.27. $118.38 is the interest, raising the balance up to $3,765 at the end of month six. Now, once again, what time is it? It's flip time. I'm about to flip these numbers, so we're gonna have our expenses come out first of our $2,550, raising the balance up to $6,250.65. Now our income is going in of $4,650, lowering that balance all the way down to sweet $1,665. $77.10 is the interest, raising it back up just a little bit to $16.77.75 at the end of month seven. Month eight, our expenses are getting added, coming out, raising the balance up to $4,227.75. You can read the rest. I shouldn't even. End of month eight, We're done. Another 15K. Isn't this amazing? Man, math. This addition and subtraction. That's all this was. Addition and subtraction. And look how much faster we paid this 15K off compared to the last one. This one took 12 months. This one took 8. Because why? Because that monthly payment that was a bill that we called a bill turned into cash flow. What happened? We got that cash flow, right? That's all it happened. Debt velocity, debt snowball. That's what this is. We we tackle one credit card, capture that cash flow, use it for the next credit card. That credit card, that monthly payment turns into cash flow. We capture that cash flow, go to the next card. If we still got cards. If not, then you're gonna go over to your car payment, any kind of loan that you got, or if you got a mortgage, then once you're done with all your debt, then you gonna go after that mortgage because you don't even want to pay that mortgage no more. That's probably your highest expense. Once you get rid of that, imagine if you got rid of this $1,700 mortgage and added to that cash flow over there. You see that cash flow over there? It's 2,100, and you add 1,700. I'm not even gonna go there. So this is how you pay off all this debt. Took us. The first one was 13 months. Second one was 12 months. Third one was 8 months. 33 months total. 2 years and 9 months. Starting off with $500 of cash flow. Isn't that amazing? And of course, we got to go to school for a little bit. This is I added up all the interest charged, and it came up to $4,823.02. Now to figure out how much that you paid in interest, the actual interest cost, because remember, all these cards were at a 25% interest rate. You're going to take this number, type it in Google, type this number in Google. $4,823.02 is what percent of how much was our debt to start with? $40,000. And you're going to get, let's see here. Look at my notes. Let me look at my notes. You're going to get 12.06%. Whew. Wow. Looks like we cut that interest cost in half, right? Mm-hmm. Ain't that amazing? And remember, this is off the highest calculation of interest that I did. Mm-hmm. What about them credit card rewards? Like I always like to do, right? Them credit card rewards at 1%, charging $25.50 every month. You're gonna get $25.50. So I went ahead and shaved a couple months off of this because we paid it off in 33 months. So I just did an even 30 months, right? $760, $65, 30 months, collecting $25.50, right? At 1.5, jumps up a few more dollars, right? We get $38.25 times 30. We over $1,000. Now, if you factored in these credit card rewards, not even factoring in the high interest cost that I calculated, just factoring in these rewards, you're going to go down at least to 10%. At least. You're probably going to be in the nines if you're getting 1.5. 9%. 9 to 10% interest cost. But it said 25, but we're just going to go with 12. That's how much interest we paid. Isn't that crazy? But these amortized loans, they're the opposite. They tell you 1%, but you're paying way more than that. Way more. You're actually paying the rates that the credit cards advertise or more. Mm-hmm. That's how the banks get their money. So I hope you found some value in today's video. And this is how you pay off 3 credit cards totaling $40,000 in debt, starting off with $500 in cash flow. And look where we ended up at. Look at that. Look at that right there. 2,100. You know, we're gonna do some damage. So because we got a car right here, probably got a $500 payment. If we get rid of this car, now you adding $500 of that. Now you up to 26. And then after that, what are you gonna do? You gonna tackle the mortgage. If this is a mortgage, right? 1,700 a month. Imagine if you pay. Now we're not even gonna go there. But I just want to thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. And like I always say, get that cash flow.